thanking everyone for joining us. If you're viewing this in the future, thank you for watching as well. Today, we're kicking off a Givebutter deep dive. The focus of today's conversation is going to be mainly in about Track, which is Givebutter's CRM. There are lots of live links, as you can see as I hover here. So whenever we send the follow-up email from everyone that registered for the webinar or participated today, make sure you check out those blue links to lots of help center guides and additional materials, okay? First, let's start with our agenda. So we'll start with welcomes and introductions about who I am. We're going to do a deep dive into our Track product. We're going to talk about recent updates and some on the horizon features. Then we'll spend about 10 or 15 minutes in the live Q&A, and we'll talk about upcoming webinars. Let's kick it off with some housekeeping. So please use the Q&A of Zoom to ask your questions. This will allow us to keep those organized. We would appreciate if you use the chat for general conversations. We love emojis and the engagement. Thank you, Grace, our marketing team member, for moderating the chat. And thank you, Stephen, for organizing the Q&A questions. Stephen will be answering some questions, typing the answers, and then we'll save some for the end for me to answer aloud. Okay, so if you have any questions along the way, feel free to drop those there. And I would really appreciate it if you drop your name and organization if you haven't already. I love the participation. So thanks, Gadone, Misha, April, I see you guys in the chat. So I really appreciate the engagement. All right, well, the next slide is about me. My name is Tori Meglio. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is home for me. I am the product manager at Givebutter. My fun fact is that I was the first Givebutter employee, still working here strong. And some causes close to my heart are education, literacy, gender equity, and seniors. So anything that has to do with people. So again, thank you all for being here today. If you'd like to follow or connect with me on LinkedIn, please do. I love to see the engagement on there, especially with your Givebutter campaigns and promotions. All right, so let's get into the meat of it. So let's start off with asking the question, what is Track? So Track is Givebutter's nonprofit CRM. So this is where you can track activities and build relationships all inside of the Givebutter platform. So today we're going to go over contact management, donation management, and ticket management. We're going to talk about the timeline history that lives inside of your contacts, as well as importing contacts and migrating recurring plans, and then being able to filter and sort within the different management tabs. So let's start by showing you where inside of your Givebutter dashboard you can find your Track features. So on the left-hand side of the screen is now a screenshot of the Givebutter dashboard, and you'll see that there's a Track section where you have a few sub-tabs: transactions, contacts, recurring plans, and tickets. So let's get kicked off with talking about donation management. So donation management is the ability to manage all of your online and offline donations, as well as making any necessary changes and analyses all in one place. So you would click into the transaction tab to view the information that you see here. So you'll see contact, the amount of their most recent donation in order, the campaign of which they donated to, and the status of that donation. You have the ability here to filter by specific campaign, as well as some other functions that I'm going to review now. So this is really the meat of Track, in that this is where you're going to see all of that transactional data, right? So a couple other things that you can do inside of the transactions tab in the managing donations capability is you have the ability to add offline donations and manual transactions. So a manual transaction means that as an admin, you have the ability to process donations and ticket purchases from your dashboard on behalf of a donor and send receipts automatically. You also have the ability to add offline donations. So these are cash and check donations as opposed to entering someone's credit card information. These are also credited towards your campaign goals, included in your supporter feed, and include an automated receipt that can be emailed to the donor and also downloaded to be printed out by them or you as the admin. Okay. Something great about the transaction tab is also donation reassignment. So this is twofold. This allows you on the left-hand side of the screen to reassign the fund, team, or team member. So if you have fund designations and someone forgets to designate to a specific fund, you have the ability to assign that donation to a fund. If you have team member fundraising enabled and someone forgets to credit a team member or a team, you can do that for them as well. You can also edit the fund and team member designations if someone makes an incorrect selection, okay? So this is really helpful for updating those receipts and things of the like to make sure that everything is set up just how you and your donors would like it. On the right-hand side, we see reassigning transactions to correct contacts. And this really gets into the data cleanliness and the contact management, which we'll talk about in the future. But it's the ability to say if someone donates this month with one email and next month with another email, it's the ability for you to say, these are actually the same person. Let's make sure that their records are connected. Okay, so that is donation reassignments. And then we talked a little bit about resending receipts. So you can resend receipts from this view as well as marking as acknowledged. And this is a really good way to track donations you've recognized, perhaps offline transactions that you logged as cash or check, making sure that you add that heart mark to know that you received those cash or check donations and they were deposited into your bank account. Okay, so that is the meat of donation management. The next tab that we'll be exploring inside of Track is ticket management. So this is where you can manage all of your in-person, virtual, and hybrid event tickets with our easy to use tools. So there's a couple features inside of the tickets tab that I'll be reviewing, but first I want to show you what that default view is. Similarly to transactions, you'll see an associated contact, the purchase date. Now we're going to see the type of ticket. It will be denoted if this is an in-person ticket or digital ticket, if you're running a hybrid event or a specific event type. You'll also see the ticket number, which will come in the check-in process, and then you'll see status on the right. So some of the functionalities that are available for you inside of ticket management are the ability to manually check in a ticket holder. And so that means that inside of your dashboard, you have the ability to select the check-in button. And so this can be used on your phone or a laptop, and just so that you can work in the recording of who's attended the event and who hasn't. So check in your guests manually from any device that you're on. Another option you have is to resend tickets. So I myself have lost a ticket, forgotten a ticket, added the wrong email, those sorts of things. With this resend ticket button, it can be so easy for your donors to get their tickets if they're having trouble finding them. So you can just click the resend button and then you can choose to send it to the email purchaser or another email. So say I add in my default Gmail account and I really want it to be sent to my Givebutter account, I would have the ability to change that here, make sure tickets are distributed to just whom they need to reach. So that's resend. And then revoke tickets. Revoking tickets is the ability to make a ticket no longer valid so that it won't scan in and so that it comes away from your ticket count. So if someone over purchases tickets or gets a refund, those sorts of things, their ticket will no longer be valid. And that's what the revoke functionality is here for. So a great part about ticket management inside of the tickets tab is our ticket scanning and automatic check-in. So every attendee is emailed a PDF ticket from Givebutter after purchasing. They can easily print or display this ticket on their phone for you to scan in for them. So on the right-hand side, you're going to see what it looks like on a mobile device when you select the option to scan tickets in. And on the left, you're going to see where that QR code resides on a ticket, as well as the short code, which we displayed on the ticket management tab page, showing you just what that unique identifier is. So how ticket scanning works is you sign into your Givebutter dashboard, you navigate to the tickets tab. There's a really clear button that says scan tickets. It's going to ask you to enable your camera as you see on the gift, and that's it. You're ready to start scanning. So you can either scan or key in the ticket code. So whichever seems faster for you at that moment. And this is a great way to make sure that your guests get in the door quickly for those in-person events. So that is ticket scanning. Excellent. So the next tab I would like to go over, we've already done transactions, tickets, and contacts. So contacts are your donors and supporters that live inside of Givebutter, right? And so this can be whenever someone creates a transaction or donation, is added as a team member, or is added as an admin or editor on your account. A unique profile is created for them that states their first name, last name, email, and any other associated contacts. So phone number, position in the company, address, and then we're going to get to things like notes and tags. You're going to see as well some overall stats about that individual, their total contributions over time, and if they have any recurring donations, what that frequency is. We're going to get into the timeline view as well to talk about some of those additional pieces we can track about these folks. Some of the great things about contact management that we're also going to go over is the ability to import contacts from another platform. Okay, so the things you need to know about those contacts coming from another platform is inside of a spreadsheet or CSV, their first name, last name, email, and or phone number. Okay, so let's jump right into contact profiles. This is a contact profile, what we see here. Every person that is a donor was imported into Givebutter, is a team member or an admin, has a contact profile. This is where you view all of their details of the relationship they have with your account in one place. So like I mentioned, total contributions, recurring donations, your activity history, and timeline. This is the specific contact profile card. So it's what we saw here on the left, just zoomed in a little bit just on that piece. And so the things you'll be able to see here is I'm highlighting specifically contact notes. So inside any contact, you can add additional context about that person. So add notes to their contact profile and any of the timeline events. So anything you see on the left, you can add a specific note either at the contact or at the activity level. Okay. Something else that can be applied inside the contact profile is tags. I have a whole section on tags in this presentation, but I wanted to show you here right where it lives inside of the individual contact. Some popular tags are things like VIP supporters, alumni, board members. Tags, as we get into them, really just can fit exactly to your organization. So I'll give you some examples of how you can use those best, but this is where they live in the contact profile. And then This wouldn't be contact management if we didn't have a way to manage duplications. And so Givebutter gives you the option to help keep your data clean by merging any duplicates or redundant contacts. So you can self-identify a duplicate, go into the contact profile and merge two contacts, or we try to make recommendations for you inside of your dashboard with a little warning sign saying, hey, we've detected some duplicates. We'd really like if you could merge those and review them. So you have the opportunity to either ignore, merge, and select the contact which you'd like to keep. Okay, so that is merging contacts. Inside of contacts, we saw that timeline view. So now we're going to go over timeline and history of your contacts. So this allows you to take meaningful actions based on your supporters' history with your organization. Two specific features I'm going to go over here also include end of year reports and BCC and forwarding tracking of emails. So I linked two help center guides there in these blue links. So check those out throughout the presentation when we send the follow-up to get the help center guides on those. So similarly to how I had just reviewed the contact profile, this is the right-hand side of contact pages is the timeline. So this shows all the timeline activity associated with that individual. So you can see on April 21st, this person was issued a ticket. On the 19th, they left a donation. They were sent an engage email on the 18th, which they opened, and you spoke to them on the phone just that day before. So any interactions you have with that individual is available on their profile. If you click the blue add event icon at the top, you would have the ability to record things like an offline email, a phone call, add additional notes and context about a specific donation. And the filter on the right would allow you to filter by just tickets, just email, engagement, those sorts of things. So this is at a glance. You can see their past donations, ticket purchases, event check-ins, messages, and other manually or automatically logged activities. Okay. This is showing you all of that activity tracking. So Givebutter does a lot of this for you automatically, but you do have the ability to log those offline donations, calls, meetings, notes, etc. And by clicking this blue notes icon, you can add additional context about each timeline item, just like you could add additional context about each individual contact. One piece that I went over in last deep dive was a brand new feature called end of year reports. And this is the ability to generate and send supporters custom year-end giving reports based on a specific year. This is an example of what one of those reports looks like, and these are generated inside the contact profile. And then the last piece I wanted to talk about timeline management is history, is the ability to record any email correspondence to a contact's timeline by using our BCC address or forwarding address. So for example, if you're using another third-party outbound email blast system, you could add Givebutter's unique BCC associated with your account, and you could see when a specific contact received that email and opened it. So those tracking capabilities can be awesome if you're still using two systems. And then this is also a great opportunity for you to add the BCC address to your native email platform so that any email that you're sending from, say, Gmail or Microsoft is automatically recorded in Givebutter. So this really makes Givebutter that end-to-end CRM integrated with whatever processes you're currently using. And the forwarding works very similarly. If you're having a conversation with a donor or supporter and you would like that conversation to show up in their timeline history, then you need only use the forwarding address to get it in there so that you can see all of your notes in one place. Excellent. So the next piece I would like to dig into is contact tags. So tags are labels that you create to help organize your contacts. Tags are entirely customizable and let you bring your organization's structure into Givebutter. You can label supporters based on data you know about them and then filter those tags and export your tag data. But most importantly, you can then contact them based on their tags and preferences. So think of tags as labels for your Givebutter contacts that help you stay organized. They're a great way to create segments, which we're going to talk about shortly, for targeting donor engagement, because tags are a way for you to label based on the information you have about these supporters. So like I mentioned, they're completely customizable. The functionality is really flexible and is completely available for you. So when you navigate into a donor's profile, this is my profile here, you'll see tags. You'll have the ability to type in a tag. If that tag is not created, you can simply click enter and that tag will be created for you to use again. And then if you have tags created, you'll see a nice drop down you can select from, or you could start typing the tag's name and just press enter. So this shows us some specifically about how to add and remove bulk tags. So this is a great way for you to apply a large set of campaign filters. And then using the check function here, you can multi-select either everyone on the page and then deselect people or select all and click an action here to add tag or remove tag. So that bulk functionality can save us a lot of time as we go into create segments in the future. Excellent. So tags really build into segments. So segments allow you to use filters to group your contacts into segments based on criteria like email activity, contact details, tags, and donation history. When you take the time to segment your contacts, like taking the time to add tags, you can send more targeted communications to the right people and you get a better overall engagement and offer that elevated donor experience. How filters and segments work together. So with our filters and segments tool, you can organize your contacts into customized groups based on any combination of their total recurring contribution history, the tags you've added, and contact details. So as you'll see here, we have a lot of sorting options. So you can add a filter based on date, amount of last donation, payment status, payment method, and acknowledgement status. And you can add these filters on top of each other. There's a lot of options for if, then, before and after certain dates, between certain dates, and those sorts of things. So adding those filters on top of each other, you then have the ability to save a segment, right? We see the save segment button here. So when we save a segment, like here is my VIP donor segment, everyone who has not been acknowledged but has donated more than $100, this save filter is going to allow me to view any records that meet this criteria at a certain place and time. Okay, so VIP donors is going to be on a rolling basis. If someone donates $100 today, they're automatically going to be included in that segment going forward. Okay, so think of those as really dynamic, where the tags are your opportunity to choose that one-to-one connection. So what to do with these contact segments? Now that your segment is created and it's saved to your account, you're ready to create and send emails using Engage. So when you schedule an email, you can choose to send it directly to a segment. So in step 1 of Engage, email send, or text message sending, you can choose a segment instead of having to do that filtering on the fly. So it ensures that you're always sending to the most current list of contacts every time you send. Excellent. So we have such fabulous contact functionality. A really key piece of using the Givebutter platform is having the convenience of all of your contacts in one place. We want to make this as easy as possible for you using our free importer. So Givebutter does not charge based on the amount of contacts you have, so upload as many as you like. And the way that you upload that is this. You navigate to the Contacts tab, you click Import, and our tool will allow you to upload a CSV file. You could also copy and paste. or you can add an Excel file or Google Sheet. So once you click import, these are the options you're going to see. Do you want to upload an existing file, or would you like to copy and paste? And so again, here, I've linked the Help Center guide where we include a template to help you format your data so that it's as clean and organized as possible for you to do your import. Some of my favorite things about our imports is we automatically catch duplications based on first name, last name, email, and if you include phone number. So that's fabulous to make sure that if someone's already subscribed to your list on X platform and they've donated on Givebutter, that we don't create duplicate contacts for them. So Karen of Survivors Rising asked a question about, can we import from MailChimp with your email addresses that you already have? And the answer is yes. That's exactly what our importing contacts was designed for. We really want you to be able to hold an unlimited amount of your contacts and supporters inside Givebutter, no matter if they've donated through the platform. And the reason for that is you can continue to steward them over email, and we'd like to help you make them eventually convert to donors. So that's how importing contacts works. Excellent. So along with importing contacts is migrating recurring plans. So one of the features of Track is the ability for you to manage your transactions, which includes recurring plans made through Givebutter. What's really exciting here is that Givebutter allows you to enjoy the convenience of having all of your online giving in one place with our automated migration service. Very similar to how you would import contacts, you can migrate recurring plans or transfer those recurring transactions from a current Stripe processor to Givebutter. So here's a little bit more about how that works. You will create an Excel spreadsheet that is exported from Stripe. You have the ability to upload that to Givebutter. We will help you with creating those existing contact records and validation, and making sure that we communicate with Stripe to make sure that there's no double billing between your existing platform and Givebutter. Newly migrated transactions will have a contact created for that donor, and it will also be available for you to manage in your recurring payments tab right inside of Track. One of the great features of being a donor who has a recurring plan on Givebutter is you have the ability to manage your recurring plan. So you can increase your recurring donation contribution at any time. You can manage the fee settings. You can pause, cancel, and update your payment method. So we're really excited to be offering those things. And as you can see, we're running a limited time offer where no matter what campaign type you import a recurring donation plan into, it will have zero platform fees for life. So we're really excited to offer industry low fees to those migrated recurring plans. If you have any questions about that, as the product manager, I am the team member who helps everyone with those migrations. So if you email migrations@givebutter.com, as outlined in the Help Center article linked here, I'll be sure to give you as much information I can to make that process really easy. Excellent. So that was the meat of Track. I'm going to review now two new features, one that is baked right into Track and one that is just new and shiny and lives in the overall universal settings of our platform. So the first feature I want to talk about is a new integration that we have with DonorSearch. And this DonorSearch integration is so cool because it's never been easier to reveal a donor's giving capacity. Givebutter users now have access to DonorSearch's robust prospect research data available with one single click inside of their contact profile. Here's how it works. So DonorSearch is the leading provider of prospect research for nonprofits of all types. So we're talking charities, healthcare organizations, fraternities and sororities, religious organizations, educators, and schools. Pulling information from the largest philanthropic database, DonorSearch uses proprietary algorithms to surface actionable insights, giving history, and wealth intelligence that will inform you about your current donors and your prospective donors in the future. So with DonorSearch's wealth screening tool baked right into Givebutter contacts, you're able to analyze your supporters based on their capacity and likelihood to give. Instead of guessing at this fundraising strategy, you'll go into those asks knowing who to ask, how much to ask, and which appeal to include them in. So the integration features were listed here, and this is what it looks like in real time. So you're going to be inside of a contact profile, like we just got done reviewing. There's the tab here for your end of year reports, and there's a new tab here for DonorSearch. When you click that DonorSearch tab, you're going to see the ability, if you've connected your existing DonorSearch account to Givebutter, you're going to see the ability to run a search. So when you run that search, you're going to see a wealth of information about that individual. And if this isn't enough information for you to make a decision about an ask, you can click View in DonorSearch and you'll be sent right to your DonorSearch dashboard. So this integration is free forever as long as you have a DonorSearch subscription and a Givebutter account. The integration partnership between Givebutter and DonorSearch gives Givebutter users special pricing. And so this help center article will direct you to a scheduling link if you don't have an existing DonorSearch subscription and would like to talk about pricing with their team. So that is DonorSearch. The next new sparkling feature I would like to tell you about is Givebutter Elements. So Givebutter Elements is the ability to take Givebutter with you anywhere and embed our donation forms directly on your site. It's as simple as installing our script and customizing your elements to fit your brand. So what we're looking at here are dynamic elements, which allow you to easily create a bubble, button, or form that you could embed on your website, which you have the ability to update and customize without needing to update too much of your site's code. Okay. First step is a simple installation code, which we will walk you through completely. The ability to customize colors, borders, and other styles right inside the Givebutter dashboard. And then we'll soon be surfacing the support of attribution pass-through and data tracking so that you can see which donation can be attributed to which element. So when you log into your Givebutter dashboard, right now, you could navigate to your account settings, integrations tab, and see a new option called Elements. We'll walk you through the Getting Started guide, welcome you to Elements, and get started with your first designs. So this will include copying and pasting a short snippet of code into the header of your website, and then you can create unlimited elements from there. And like I mentioned, the options are a bubble, which is a floating donation bubble across your entire site. So it stays in the bottom left-hand corner. If you've ever used the Givebutter chat widget that shows up on all of our web pages, it's really similar to that. A button, which is a pop-up donation button on your site. So you can put that on any page in the top left corner or in the footer. And then form is very similar to the embeddable widget that you've come to know and love, now with just lots of additional tracking and an enhanced design. So we're really excited to share that with you. It was just released in the dashboard yesterday, so you are the first to know about it, and I'm really excited to see how you implement it. So that's Givebutter Elements. Those are the new features I wanted to review. Now to On the Horizon. So I'm really excited that DonorSearch was one of the on the horizons from the last time we talked. So we shipped that one. I'm excited to get you guys caught up with what we've shipped by next deep dive in March. So some of those things will be managing tags. So that includes the ability to rename tags and merge tags, as well as delete them. We're working on tax deductibility inside of events campaigns. We're working on admin capabilities of managing recurring plans. We're working on advanced filters so that you can filter by even more information inside contacts, transactions, tickets, and engage targeting. We're working on specifically contact custom fields, which will allow you to ask record specific questions for your donors, like pronouns, familial relationships, favorite color, right? Anything that's important to your organization, that's what contacts custom fields will be. And then something else that's on the horizon for middle to end of this year is auctions. So all of those feature requests have been linked here in green. If you would like to stay up to date on those feature requests, click on that link and subscribe to it on our product roadmap. And then of course you can view our public product roadmap here, and we'd love to know if there's any enhancements inside of the product that you would like to see. Please leave us your feedback there. We are here to serve you. So we want to make this product as best as possible for our existing and future users. Now we're at the point where I would love to start the live Q&A. So thanks so much, Stephen, for organizing that in here. Before I get to the Q&A that was in our Zoom chat, I'm going to answer some questions that folks left whenever they signed up for this webinar. So Tammy of GWHS Alumni Association asked, "It's great that Givebutter keeps adding features. Is it sustainable for the platform to be free forever, especially since the CRM data is ever growing?" That's a great question, Tammy. We have no plan of changing our pricing model based on adding new features. We are a product-led company, which means our evolution of adding more value to the product and platform, and then to our users, and ultimately the people who are our change makers, it doesn't make sense for us to change our fee settings. So we're happy with how those are set up, and you shouldn't anticipate any changes in the future. PRO of Little Warrior Foundation asked, "As a CRM, can Givebutter upload and integrate manual donations and generate physical copies of those donations receipts for printing purposes?" And so, Piero, I hope I answered that question for you earlier, and the answer is yes. You can manually add donations. That is, you have credit card information from a donor, and you can add that on the back end for them, adding their email, generating an automated receipt, which you have the ability to print out or email to them. And then you also can log offline cash or check donations. So the answer to your two-part question is both yes. So let me go ahead and jump into the Q&A section that we have inside of the chat. So thanks so much, Stephen, for already answering 9 questions. So Tom asks a question. I'm just going to read it here. I just wanted Tori to clarify the import from MailChimp. She just talked about how to make sure everyone understands that by default, the contacts added via that import will not be able to be part of a campaign until they go to each and every contact to opt them in. Tom, I'm not exactly sure if I understand your question, so would you mind clarifying? Contacts are not part of a campaign until they donate to that specific campaign. So some of the things that you can do here with a MailChimp import or an import of contacts from any other platform is you can apply tags to them. And then we do have a feature request of automatically subscribing imported contacts to outbound email blasts. So Stephen, could you perhaps link in the answer to that question, that specific feature request? And we should see that accomplished over the next 2 weeks as we launch advanced filtering. Gadone has 2 questions. Thank you, Gadone. Nice to see you in eChat. If I add the BCC address to my constant contact list, all people who are on that list will get the blast in their track history. So if you add the BCC address to constant contact, that email will appear as a timeline action inside of any contact inside of Givebutter. It will also create a contact for anyone who is not already a contact in Givebutter. So that functionality is dual and really powerful there. How robust is email blast to segment features? Can it really replace MailChimp? The way that MailChimp is working currently, to my understanding, is that you subscribe people to a specific newsletter list. Our functionality goes a step beyond that. So with advanced filtering and segments, you have the ability to do all of the targeting that you're doing in MailChimp, including the ability to opt in to either email, text message marketing, or both. Thanks so much for clarifying, Tom. I think we're on the same page. So this goes back to the question of when you manually import contacts, they need to be subscribed to outbound messages. So that functionality to choose if someone has already told you they're opted in to a subscription status should be live in the next few weeks. So we're excited to see those capabilities. Thanks so much for clarifying. Michelle, great question about when the auctions feature will be available. We do not have a hard deadline or an established hard timeline. We do know that they will be available by the end of the year. So I encourage you to upvote the feature request to stay up to date on happenings there. And if you have any must-haves or comments that you would like to leave our team, adding a comment to that feature request is a great thing to do. Fabulous. Okay. I'm gonna take a look in the chat as well to see if we had any lingering questions there. Great, I think we're good. Any other questions that we would like to include in the Q&A, go ahead and add them now. Else I'm gonna give 2 more pitches. So if you're just getting started with Givebutter and are new to our platform, or you'd like a refresher on success stories, here's 3 options for you. The first is you can join a weekly demo with our lovely customer success team members that happens every week. I would also encourage new and existing users to explore our help center, how-tos, FAQs, and best practices for making the most of our platform. And then reading the success stories. Our marketing team does a great job of talking with the change makers in our community about how they're making the world a better place and how they're leveraging Givebutter to do those things. So these are your 3 options there. And then our upcoming webinars, I have 2 I would like to share with you. The first is Cracking the Corporate Code, Matching Gifts and Sponsorships. This will be hosted by Floyd Jones, our partnerships manager. And so you can join him on March 9th. Remember, if you register to a webinar and can't make it, we'll definitely send you the recording. So no big deal there. If you're interested at all, go ahead and click Learn More and register. And then, of course, I have to plug next month's deep dive where we'll be talking about integrations. So as always, please click that link whenever you register for a deep dive webinar. I take the questions and topics that you would like to talk about during our time together really seriously. So please leave me any Q&A you might have in advance. So I see another question in here. Is there a resource I can share with my colleagues regarding Givebutter? So we have a bunch of resources. You're going to receive this resource recording of our conversation today in a follow-up email in the next 24 hours. We also have a bunch of resources on the demo link here and then on exploring the Help Center. So is there a specific resource that you're interested in receiving? Integrations resource. Yeah. So you can go to givebutter.com/integrations to see all of our native and third-party integrations. You can also go to our Help Center integrations tab. Stephen, would you please drop the link for that Help Center section? Fabulous. And then anyone who may be interested in sending outbound emails, I would mention that last deep dive, we went over Engage, which is the ability to send outbound email blasts and text blasts. So if you're excited about the targeting that you saw today in Track and you want to put that into motion, last month's deep dive is for you too. You can find that on our YouTube page, which is where we'll host this Track deep dive as well. So if we don't have any more questions, I'm excited to give you a few minutes back in your day. I thank everyone for being here, especially Grace, Stephen, and Holly for your moderation. Yeah, so thanks so much everyone for joining. It was great to get to talk to you about the products that we're offering. So I'll see you online. Thanks.
You turned this from an idea in a dorm room into the #1 rated fundraising platform on the internet.
You raised over $100 million for charitable causes just in the last year.
You are making the world a better place, one gift at a time.